So now we have to start with the taxonomic hierarchy. In the previous class we have studied that what is done in the classification. In the classification, organisms, they are aggregated on the basis of similarities and dissimilarities, resulting in the formation of groups. Yes. So what is done in the classification? Placing of organism into the groups on the basis of similarities and dissimilarities. These taxonomic groups in which organisms are placed, they are known as taxonomic categories. Yes, I am repeating it here again. What are the taxonomic categories? They are the groups in which organisms are placed on the basis of similarities with respect to certain characteristics. So let's write the definition for this. Taxonomic categories. They are groups in which organisms are placed on the basis of similarities with respect to features, with respect to characteristics. Right? Now, several taxonomic categories, several groups, they are present, several groups they have been formed. All the taxonomic categories which are utilized in the classification, together they are going to constitute taxonomic hierarchy. जितनी भी taxonomic categories क्लासिफिकेशन पर्पस के लिए यूटिलाइज की जाती हैं, इन सारी टेक्सोनॉमिक कैटेगरीज को हम कहते हैं टेक्सोनॉमिक हायरार्की. सो व्हाट इज टेक्सोनॉमिक हायरार्की? ऑल द टेक्सोनॉमिक कैटेगरीज used in the classification constitute taxonomic hierarchy. Yes. So now to explain the taxonomic hierarchy and to explain the taxonomic categories, I will be dealing here with the few examples. Now, one of the characteristic which is utilized for the classification of organism, classification of animals, that is jointed legs. Yes. One of the feature is jointed legs. जिन ऑर्गेनिज्म के अंदर जॉइंटेड लेग्स का नंबर है 3 पेयर. Yes, 3 pairs of jointed legs. These organisms, they are aggregated together. Yes, जिन organisms के अंदर jointed legs का नंबर है 3 pairs, इन organisms को aggregate करते हैं and it represents a group and that group is known as insect. Yes, this aggregation of organism represents a group and this group is known as insect. Now, after the jointed list, to explain taxonomic categories, I will cite one more example here. Let's cite one example with respect to the plants. Now, one of the features utilized for the classification of plants is seed. With respect to seed, two conditions can be there. Naked seed, covered seed. Now, first of all, let's deal with this one. Naked seed means the seeds, they are not present inside the fruit. Yes, seeds are not present inside the fruit. This condition is going to represent naked seeded condition. Now, all the plants which are going to have this type of the condition, these plants, they are aggregated together and represents a group, and this group is known as gymnosperm. Yes. So the plants which are showing this condition, these plants, they are aggregated together, forming a group. Come on, tell me, what is the name of group? Name of group is gymnosperms. Yes. Now you can easily understand what is covered seeded condition. Means now seeds, they are present inside the ovary. Now seeds, they are present inside the fruit. Yes. जितने भी प्लांट ये कंडीशन शो करते हैं, इन सारे प्लांट्स को हम एग्रीगेट करते हैं और जो ग्रुप बनेगा, दैट ग्रुप ऑफ ऑर्गेनिज्म, नाउ दे आर नोन एज एंजियोस्पर्म्स. Yes. Aggregation on the basis of similarities, forming group. Yes, this group going to represent angiosperms. Yes. So the grouping of organism with the help of these two examples is very much clear to all of you. Yes, how we have performed the grouping. We have aggregate the organism on the basis of the similarities with respect to characters. Now here we have to deal with three type of taxonomic categories. Obligate taxonomic categories, intermediate and infraspecific. Three types of taxonomic categories. Obligate, intermediate and infraspecific. So let's start with the obligate one. First we are going to discuss obligate taxonomic categories. The categories which are always used for hierarchical classification of organism, they represents obligate categories. हमेशा क्लासिफिकेशन पर्पस के लिए जिन कैटेगरीज को यूटिलाइज किया जाता है उनको हम कहते हैं ऑब्लिगेट कैटेगरीज. नाउ देयर आर 7 ऑब्लिगेट कैटेगरीज एंड टू रिमेंबर these 7 obligate categories I will give you one tip here. Yes, write the tip for remembering the sequence of obligate categories. Tip is keep pots clean or family gets sick. Yes, this is our tip to remember the sequence of 7 obligate categories. So let's write these 7 obligate categories with the help of this. Yes, the first one is kingdom. Started from K. Yes. First one, kingdom. Second one starting from P is phylum. Phylum is utilized for animals, and for the plants, the category which is utilized, that is division. So phylum is for animals, write in the bracket A for animal. Division is for plant, write P for the plant. Next one from C, it is class. From O, it is order. Yes, this one is same family. From G, it is genus. And this is the last one from S. This is going to represent species. Yes. So these are 7 obligate categories. Now, according to rules and regulations of ICBN, yes, ICBN, that is International Code for Botanical Nomenclature, for different categories, specific endings should be there. Yes, for different categories name, there should be specific ending. There is specific suffix. So now we are going to write all the endings which can be utilized for the differentiation of these categories. So now here I am going to write suffix. Yes, I am going to write ending utilized for different categories. Yes, starting from the phylum, from the division, for the division, the suffix which is utilized, that is phyta. Yes, suffix utilized is phyta. So simultaneously I will cite certain example. One example for this is bryophyta. Yes, please write it down. Bryophyta. Another one now for the class. Now for the class you can use 4 endings. 4 endings can be utilized for this category. For distinguishing this category, one of the suffix which is utilized, that is phyci. Yes, phyci is booked for algae. Yes. Do you know green alga, brown alga, red alga? For the green alga, the category which is there, the name which is there, that is chlorophyci. Chlorophyci will represent green alga. Another one, mycetes. Mycetes is booked for fungi. I'm going to write name of one of the fungal class by utilizing this suffix. The name of the class is Deuteromycetes. Yes, it is also known as dustbin group of fungi. Yes, Deuteromycetes, one of the fungal class. Now, why it is known as dustbin group, this we will discuss in the next chapter, that is biological classification. Another one, Opsida. For this you write the example, Bryopsida, Pteropsida. Now the last one which can be used, that is AE. Yes. Do you know that angiosperms, yes, angiosperm, that is flowering plants, they are divided into the 2 categories, that is dicot and monocot. So AE is utilized for dicots and monocot. So you can write down here, one is dicotyledone and the another one, that is monocotyledone. Now after the class, now the next category is order. For order, suffix which is utilized, that is ales. One example is poales, rosales. Now the next one is family. For the family, suffix is AC. Yes, several names, they might be known to you for the AC. Yes, for the family. Can you tell me what is the name of sunflower family? It is Asteraceae. The name of grass family, that is Poaceae. Now sunflower family is the most advanced family in dicots, and Poaceae family is most advanced family in monocot. So let's write the name of sunflower family. What it is? Very good. It is Asteraceae. Now coming to genus. Several suffix can be utilized here, like us, is, on, a. Yes. So we are going to write the corresponding examples here. For us, I will be writing the example Pinus. Do you know the Mendel plant? Mendel selected which plant for his genetics experiment? Yes, that is Pisum. So write example here, Pisum. Another one for is Arabis. For on, it is Symphopogon, Polypogon. Then for A, it is Rosa. Yes. So you got this? So these are the different endings utilized to differentiate between the categories of taxonomic hierarchy. Now among these 7 categories, first of all, I am going to start with species. What is species? And then after that, I will deal with next rest of the taxonomic hierarchy. Species. Term species, it was given by scientist John Ray. Now what is species? Species represent group of organisms, group of individuals which are closely related. They are closely related with respect to similar morphological, anatomical, biochemical and cytological characteristics. So let's write what is species. Term given by the John Ray. Species represent group of closely related individuals. They are similar. They are similar with respect to characteristics like morphological characters, anatomical, biochemical, and cytological features. Yes, do you understand cytological features? You know the name of the field, cytology, that deals with the cell structures, cell study. Now here to explain the species, I am going to deal with the species concept. Yes, what exactly species is? The most widely accepted species concept, it was given by the scientist Ernest Mayr. That concept we are going to deal here. Most widely accepted species concept. Yes. What is its name? The name of the species concept, that is biological species concept. This biological species concept, it was given by the scientist Ernest Mayr. Now, Ernest Mayr defined species on the basis of reproductive compatibility, on the basis of interbreeding. He defines species on the basis of reproductive compatibility, or you can say interbreeding. Yes, what is interbreeding? Interbreeding is mating between the individuals to produce fertile offspring. What interbreeding is going to represent? Mating between the individuals, organism to produce fertile progeny. Now, to explain this reproductive compatibility, let's cite one example over here. Let's say this is our population. This is our population of species A. Group of individual which belongs to the species A. According to the biological species concept, all the individuals which belong to the same species, they have the ability to show interbreeding. Yes, they can freely interbreed in nature and result in the production of fertile progeny. If they have the ability to interbreed among themselves, it means we can say they have the ability to exchange their genes. So the individuals which belong to the same species, they have the ability to freely interbreed. They have the ability to freely interbreed. It means they have the capacity to exchange genes among themselves. Freely interbreed, producing fertile progeny. It means they have capacity to exchange genes, right? Let's see now. This is our population. Group of individuals, but now this group of individuals, they belong to different species. They belong to different species. Now again, this group of individuals, they have the ability to freely interbreed. Yes, they can freely interbreed. But according to the biological species concept, members of one species, they cannot freely interbreed with the members of other species. Yes, between the members of different species, interbreeding is absent. Between the members of different species, interbreeding is absent. Means they cannot reproduce. They cannot reproduce. It means we can say that these two different species, they are reproductively isolated. Between the different species, interbreeding is absent. It means these two different species, they cannot reproduce. So you can say they are reproductively isolated. So according to this concept, two different species, they are reproductively isolated Or you can say they can show reproductive isolation. They will show reproductive isolation. So this is very much clear to all of you. Now, on the basis of all this discussion, yes, please tell me that whether species is genetically open system or species is genetically closed system. Yes, I am putting one question here. Whether species is genetically open or it is genetically closed system. Yes, what do you think? Yes, if the members of one species, they can reproduce with the members of other species. They can interbreed with the member of other species. It means between the two different species, exchange of genes is present. But according to the biological concept, this exchange cannot occur. If the exchange with different species cannot occur, genes cannot be exchanged with different species, surely what you will say? We will say it is a genetically closed system because it cannot exchange the genes. Genetically closed system. So you got this? So two key words which are really essential to be understood here. One is reproductive isolation. That is between the two different species, interbreeding is absent. And second one, due to this, the species is genetically closed system. Now, though it is the most accepted concept of species, but certain limitations, certain drawbacks, they are associated with this. So let's try to understand these drawbacks now. Let's write the drawbacks now. In good majority of plants, sexual reproduction is absent. The only means of reproduction which is present, that is asexual one. If in these plants sexual reproduction is absent, it means the concept of reproductive isolation cannot be applied here. So let's write it down. In good majority of plants, sexual reproduction is absent. Same is the case with bacteria. In bacteria, asexual reproduction is present, but the true form of sexual reproduction in the bacteria is absent. So again, this concept cannot be utilized for classification of bacteria. Bacteria also sexual reproduction absent. Bacteria cannot be classified on the basis of biological species concept. Why? Because in the bacteria, sexual reproduction is absent. That's why bacteria is known as non-biological species. Are you getting this? Bacteria cannot be classified on the basis of biological species concept. That's why bacteria is known as non-biological species. Right? Now, in some of the closely related species, sometimes interbreeding can be present. Yes, just now I have explained. According to the Ernest Mayr, between the two different species, interbreeding is absent. But limitations, drawbacks, that some of the different species which are closely related, they can show interbreeding. interbreeding between closely related species can be present. So let's explain this with the help of one example. Let's say this is species A, this is species B, and between the members of the different species, interbreeding is present. After the interbreeding, there is formation of progeny, there is formation of offsprings. This offspring which is formed, or these offsprings which are formed, they are going to have characters of species A as well as they are going to have characters of species P. So it means this offspring is going to have combination of characters from both these species. Offspring which has combination of characters from both the species represents hybrid. Combination of characters of both the species is going to represent hybrid. Yes? So sometimes interbreeding between different species can be present, resulting in the formation of offspring known as hybrid. So let's cite certain examples for the hybrids which are formed through this type of interbreeding. One example of hybrid is Hinny. Hinny is formed by interbreeding between the male horse and female donkey. Right? Next hybrid is mule. Now the condition is reverse. Now it is a hybrid formed between male donkey and female horse. Another one of the hybrid which is formed, that is tigon. Tigon is formed by crossing between male tiger and female lion. Last example I am citing here, that is liger. Now you can simply guess in the liger what are the parents. Yes, male lion and female tiger. Right? Among these four hybrids which I have cited example here, first two hybrids, they are sterile and they are formed under natural condition. Last two hybrids, they are fertile. Yes, these are fertile and they are formed under captive conditions. Captive, that is trapped conditions. So you got the limitations of biological species concept. Now after discussing the species, after understanding the species, now I will explain rest of the categories here.